Hello, this is basically a video showing my Stephen King collection. Um, I started collecting Stephen King books around, I have to say maybe June 2013. And the first books I had were ones that my grandmother gave to me, and I'll actually point those out. She used to read them all when she was young, and when she had my mom and my uncle, and so she'd read them. And she said the scariest she ever read was either The Stand or Pet Sematary. So far, out of all the books I've read, Salem's Lot, despite having not the best characters, maybe a little cliched plot, but overall, considering that it's for a vampire novel, it just takes half a novel just to come to that revelation. It really builds that atmosphere. And so I don't talk too much. Let's get to the collection. Start off. This is one of my prized possessions in the collection, which is a book club hardcover of Carrie. And I believe, based on this Doubleday logo, that it's actually from '74 or '73. Yeah, '74. Because I know this is obviously from 1990, despite not showing anything inside copyright date wise. I think the presence of the anchor may mean that it wasn't released back 75. But this I love, and the quality isn't the greatest, but I got this. So that obviously sounds like Shining. No, again, not the best quality, but it's better. It's a book club edition. I'm pretty sure from '77. Night Shift. I might want to improve on it because the copy that came in from Amazon really wasn't that good. Now this is my favorite that I have. The book club edition of The Stand. Which I got along with The Dead Zone, The Stand, and Carrie. All three on eBay for about $20, free shipping. So yeah, I try to buy cheap, but that when I actually saw that listing, I was surprised at the price. Firestarter. So far, of all the books I've read by Stephen King, The Dead Zone is my absolute favorite. I was pretty much in tears at the end of the novel. So Cujo, which I thought, surprisingly, Firestarter and Cujo felt really short, despite being like 400 pages, Firestarter, and more than 300, they're really short novels, like, especially with Cujo, once it gets going, it doesn't last long, but I was admittedly pretty sad when George Bannerman died. And now I'm up to different seasons, halfway through The Body, which is turning into probably my favorite Stephen King adaptation, Stand By Me. And right here I have a soft cover of The Dark Tower. My goal is to have all the original hardcovers of The Dark Tower by Grant, even the last three. No, I'm not talking about When Did the Keyhole Begin? Which I hope to get. But out of all of them, the only one that I really want to get the Grant hardcover is When Did the Keyhole, because it has the artwork. Christine, Pet Sematary, Talisman, Thinner. Now this, I was surprised. I got it at a thrift store for $4, which is not rare, but considering it was at a thrift store and it's great quality, and it looks like nice, whatever the book club or whatever book club they did it for. It's really nice, because I've seen books with the, I guess, not the cover, but I guess, yeah, the cover and everything really cheaply made. I have 2 copies of The Skeleton Crew. I also have a way better on Dead Zone, but this is, I think, from probably 1990, or probably maybe 95, when Rose Manor was released, maybe. Though it doesn't have, or maybe I'll explain it in a later video, but this is one I really love that I have, the Bachman books. I also have a soft cover of the one with the skulls on the highway, I guess. This is one I can't wait to read. Cycle of the Werewolf. It Eye of the Dragon. Now, one day I might get one of the hardcovers that was released around the same time as this. I mean, softcover that was released at the same time as this. But this is fine, you know. Misery, Tommyknockers, The Dark Gift, which was the first Stephen King book I ever bought. The Stand. This is one my grandmother gave me, the uncut version. And that was the first book I tried to read by Stephen King. Literally couldn't get past 2 pages. But I got, when I was rereading it, I read From Salem's Lot, just different seasons so far. I didn't read Carrie. I'm waiting for personal reasons to read that. When Stephen King publishes his last book, I want to kind of read the Carrie and then his last book just to see the stark, like the big difference. Plus, also, I really wanted to read Salem's Lot, so I kind of skipped Carrie. But yes, my grandmother gave me The Stand, and she also gave me 4 Past Midnight, which is the only signed book of his I have, which my uncle got for her back in 1990 for probably like however much an autograph costs, I guess. So, but I'll never pay like $100 or probably more than $100, like $500. I'll never pay that for an autograph because it's just an autograph. You can always get them for a decent price if you go out to the signings. Wastelands, Needful Things, Gerald's Game, which one day I want to do the adaptation for. And the way I'm going to do it is really kind of weird and focus more on the courtroom scenes and kind of go backwards. And one scene I want to do and make it much more subtle is when she sees the space cowboy in the corner, because the way I read it online was really creepy. Just a simple line, there was a man in the corner. That is creepy, creepier than anything, just a man in the corner. Dolores Claiborne, Nightmares and Dreamscapes, Insomnia, Rose Matter, The Green Mile, Regulators, Desperation, Wizard in the Glass, Bag of Bones, Girl Loved Tom Gordon, Storm of the Century, Hearts in Atlantis, and Dreamcatcher. And here's where my crazy is going to show a little bit. I got The Talisman. This I got from my grandmother. She gave this to me, but I bought this just to match the spines, which is crazy, but I'm crazy, so. From Buick 8, Everything's Eventual. And here's where, I mean, maybe I'm a little crazy, but I want to get the Dark Tower hardcovers re-released by Viking. And I was like, if I'm going to buy this Gunslinger, I might as well buy these. Plus, I like how the spines match. Or the keyholes. So yeah, there's the rest of the whole Dark Tower series, at least till part 7. Cell, which I can't wait for the adaptation of, which it might be good, hopefully. Lisey's Story, I guess that's how you pronounce it. The only Stephen King book at the moment, well, there's 2, but the only main novel I don't have is Colorado Kid, which I hope to get sometime soon. Blaze, Blaze. Dear Mickey, I got that from my grandmother, and she pretty much helped me get all these. Probably spent no more than $300 on them, you know, because I'm cheap. I'm very cheap. Like, if I have like $100, I will stretch it like a low budget film, a budget for a low budget film. That's kind of whatever. Just After Sunset, Under the Dome, Blockade Billy, Full Dark No Stars. My grandmother gave me that too. So 11/22/63, Went Through the Keyhole, Joyland, and Doctor Sleep. I do have 2 Peter Straub novels. Hopefully I'll get his movies someday. So I have Lost Boy, Lost Girl, and In the Night Room. So I have I believe that's a sequel, or maybe that's a sequel, I guess. I know they go together. And personally, here's one thing I got. A first edition softcover of Carrie by Signet. So, yep. I may only be 16, but I know my stuff. No, but in all seriousness, reading Stephen King is fun, and I think going on all these Stephen King blogs and really looking into it ahead of time really makes me appreciate these books much more. especially The Dead Zone, which I read one review that made me kind of cautious to read it, which said it was a slow, boring novel. And then I read it, I was like, wow, this is A, fast, but B, very interesting because it focused strictly on Johnny Smith. But yeah, I mean, occasionally I read a Stephen King book and I like really cry. Like I get a little emotional. Most importantly, one of the stories in here, Night Shift, I want to do a Dollar Baby of, and that one is because this is the short story that made me burst into tears. The Last Rung on the Ladder. I would love to somehow get in touch with Stephen King and get like the film rights to do that because I have a whole script plan. But I wanted to do it because I read it and I ended up reading Woman in the Room because I thought it'd be really emotional, but I never really got anything out of it. I thought it was a great story, but it never really made me cry. But I read Last Rung on the Ladder, and that story just, I lost it. I was just crying. I couldn't really finish the book for a while. I guess I'm a pretty emotional person, but this very rarely happens to me. Like, I've never read a story that affected me that much. And so that's what made me want to do The Dollar Baby. The same way probably Frank Darabont was affected by Woman in the Room. To do it, maybe one day I'll do Last Rung on the Ladder. So yeah, there's my Stephen King book collection. So all I gotta do is get Colorado Kid and hopefully Silver Bullet. You know, Silver Bullet is one I can't wait to read. All I know is that there was a werewolf that sings a beer jingle. What more could you want? But some novels I can't wait to read, and some I'm kind of dreading. It's particularly Nightmares and Dreamscapes, not because I think it's gonna be bad, but it's gonna drag on. And I heard Insomnia drags on, but I'll probably end up liking it. So yep. So it is a little long, but I really wanted to showcase my Stephen King collection. And I'm definitely buying Mr. Mercedes, and definitely buying Revival. I'm really hoping that maybe within a year or two he publishes a new short story collection with all the stuff he did with his son, Facing the Crowd with Stuart Mann, and like Mile 81 and all those ebooks he did, as well as maybe some essays. And it'd be really cool if he went back and maybe look at some of his older stories, like The Crate or something like that, because I have it on my computer, and The Crate seems really cool. It's long, but also it's a throwback to his older days. So the next video will be my Stephen King DVD collection, and now that is even crazier. Bye.